What's up everybody, it's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Pleasantville renovation video. So the house today, it doesn't really have a name, but I'm just gonna call it the Green Retro Home. So I didn't know this at first, but a lot of the lots in this world, they have like references and like little Easter eggs here and there, and I didn't really know because for me at least, a lot of the lots in this town don't really show up. The lot names don't really show up, so they're like all blink and stuff. So a lot of stuff was literally just lost in translation for me, so I didn't even know until I was told about it. But I knew that when I was first looking at this house to furnish today, that it had a plaque on the outside of it. And the plaque basically is like a welcome to the world kind of thing. Like, you know, this town welcomes you, basically. And I was like, oh, well, since this house has like a welcome sign on it, basically, I was like, why don't we furnish a house for a sim who is a tour guide? So I have like a little story with this house. So basically the sim that lives here is fresh out of college. He's an art major and he was applying to jobs everywhere, like literally every sim world you can think of. He was applying for jobs, and he saw a listing for this one, and the listing was very like vague, you know. It was more so like, hey, are you energetic? Do you want to help people out? Do you want free room and board and free Wi-Fi and blah 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 blah. And you know, him being like super desperate for a job, he's like, yes, I am. I'm all those things and more. So he like applied, he got accepted, and then he like signed a contract for 2 years. But he didn't really know much about what he was going to be doing. It was legit, you know, it's legal, but he just didn't know what he was going to be doing until he got here. So literally they got him a ticket to the island of Pleasantville, because I kind of feel like the world is, you know, is very small, and I feel like the town council wants to kind of like open up the world to like other people, you know, and like try to help out the local economy and stuff like that. So they want to get tourists and people to move here, so they needed a tour guide, right? So like when he got here, he was like, okay, so what's the job? Am I going to be doing construction? Am I going to be doing like office work? Like, what am I doing? And they were like, oh no, you're going to be a tour guide. And he's like, a tour guide? And they was like, yeah, but don't worry, you have a free house, everything is nice, it has amenities, you only really have to pay like some of the utilities like water and lights, but everything else is covered. He's like, wait, what? So he got here, and this is the house, y'all, and this house is very outdated. So I want to say this house was built maybe like in the 70s or 80s, you know. Very outdated, you know. You can kind of tell. So the outside of the house is green, so I was like, why don't we kind of take that green motif indoors and stuff? So not only did the sim sign a 2-year contract for a job that he really didn't even know anything about, he's also stuck here, and he has to be a tour guide, which I feel like it is not so bad for him, because like, you know, it's kind of like a nice job, and they want, like, the town council wants him to make signs and flyers and like get kind of creative and stuff like that, and put like online advertisements out. And he was an art major in college, so I kind of feel like it's kind of in the realm of what he could do. Like, he can make like some graphic design and some paintings and stuff like that. So far he's only been working here like maybe a couple of months, I would say. So he's not fully settled in, but he's just, you know, he's kind of getting used to it. He doesn't really have to do tours like every day, because not that many people are coming to this island like that, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it's like 2-3 times a month, so it's not even that bad of a job, I would say, and he's getting paid, and it's a free house. But yeah, so far I gave him like some picket signs, you know, he was kind of getting creative. I did put an art easel in here as well. We have like some paint, so you know, he's slowly getting into the groove of the thing. I feel like low-key he's a little homesick. Like, he's not trapped on the island, obviously, but like legally speaking, he could get sued if he backs out of it. So you know, he doesn't want to get sued, so he can leave the island, you know, like for vacation time, or if he wants to go visit family or birthday or whatever, like he can leave, but he's kind of trapped, legally speaking, to this world. So as you can see, we're in the living room. I kind of talked over a lot of the furnishing already, but as you can see, this is the living room. It's very small. I wanted this to kind of be very retro looking and kind of outdated, so I used the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack TV. The couch is from the 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff pack. We have the base game chair, and we also have this little end table over here as well. The lamp in the corner of the room, I think it comes from Showtime. I'm not really sure about what pack it is. It kind of gave off like a retro vibe to me, so I kind of put it in the corner as well. I did change the wallpaper, as you can see. So at first I knew I wanted it to be green, but I didn't really know like what wallpaper, so I decided to kind of go for this one with a border, because the wood paneling at the bottom kind of gives off a retro vibe to me. The kitchen, as you can see, is very small, very, very, very small, and I knew that I wanted this house to at least have a table, because the last house that we furnished in this world didn't really have a table. The table that I use is the one from Late Night. It's one of those tables that needs bar stools to sit at, so I put the matching bar stools to go with it. And this house is technically, well, it was a starter home, but it was one of those things where like the house was 15,000 simoleons empty, so like even if I wanted to make it into a starter home for one sim, it was kind of, you know, hard to do that, because what would you actually have? Because like I think a starter home for a sim in The Sims 3 is just like 16,000 if you just have one sim, so like this house was already 15, so you know. So I tried not to put a lot of expensive stuff in here, so I don't really remember the end price for the house, but it's, I would say maybe more on the cheaper side, you know? I didn't really use a lot of expensive items in here. So moving on, this is the first bedroom. So this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. This is going to be where our sim is going to sleep. So I knew that I wanted to kind of switch up the wallpaper. So instead of going for a green wallpaper, I went with an orange one. I also wanted to recolor the windows to kind of have like wood, you know, on the inside of them. And I wanted to use this bed from the base game. To me, it looks like a craftsman style bed, you know, kind of rustic, kind of like older, I would say. So I used that one, and I also paired it up with some of these end tables from the generation pack. I used a Tiffany lamp above it, and then I was trying to like find where to put a dresser. So I was gonna put the dresser over here by these windows, but I decided to like not do that because I wanted this sim to have a computer desk, because you know the listing did say free Wi-Fi. So I used this little space over here for a computer desk, and then I used the dresser from the base game, and I just kind of moved it over to the other side of the room, like over here, you know. I feel like that's the matching dresser that goes with the bed, I want to say. I knew I wanted everything to kind of be kind of retro looking, so I put like a retro pattern on the bed. I also put a rug in here, and I gave it the plat design. I noticed after I finished recording that I did not recolor the rug in the living room, so I did do it off camera. It'll show up in the screenshots, you know. And then this is just me now putting a computer desk. But listen, computers existed in the 80s, but the internet was not a thing, so I decided to kind of put like an older computer in here. I don't think this computer can get Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure it can't, but you know, if you need to type something, like type out a grocery list, you can do it, you know. I feel like this house, you know, it does have Wi-Fi, but I think it's like super slow Wi-Fi, where it's like if you use your data on your phone, it'll be faster. So technically the listing didn't lie. I wouldn't want to use the Wi-Fi here. Like you couldn't even watch a movie, you can even watch a YouTube video with the Wi-Fi, you know. But that's pretty much it for the bedroom. I did go back and add some curtains in here, so I used the ones from the Generations pack, and then I kind of made them match with the rug, so it's like plaited curtains. It's kind of ugly, I will admit, but the vibe I was going for was outdated, you know, 80s, 70s, you know, that kind of vibe. So you know, maybe back then it would match, it would be cute for someone, but yeah, it doesn't really hold up, I don't think, in this year. But that's pretty much everything for this room. So now I'm just kind of going back now, just putting up some more curtains all over the house. And then we move on to the bathroom. So for the bathroom, I actually had a lot of fun furnishing it. I feel like they tend to kind of be basic unless I have like a theme. So this house was built on a slope or like a hill. So I had to turn and move objects on in order for, you know, for me to be able to place a shower tub combo in here. I also did have to like play around with the floor plan. You'll see it at the beginning of the video. So I made the bathroom a little bit bigger. I was trying my best to kind of like find some older, outdated looking like furnishing in here, so I used some of the same countertops, a really old looking sink. This mirror looks kind of old to me as well. I used the shower tub combo from the base game, and then I also ended up putting like a wall light in here, which I never really do that much. Like I feel like this year, maybe last year, I'm starting to use wall lights more in The Sims because I feel like I never would ever use them, so it was kind of cool to have like a older looking wall light in here. I also used the medicine cabinet object from the base game, and I never ever used that in like any of my builds, so I knew I had to use it today. I also wanted to have like some brownish, you know, tile on the floor. And I ended up using the same wallpaper, but I did recolor it a little bit, and I think that the bathroom looks pretty cool. I mean, very retro. I also ended up putting a little towel over there too, but I think the bathroom is nice. And then last but not least, y'all, we have the last bedroom. So this is a 2-bedroom house, like I said, but the second bedroom doesn't really get used as a bedroom. It's more like a storage room, low-key, because like the sim here doesn't have kids, you know, they don't have a partner, it's just them. So they kind of use this room as like, maybe if they ever have guests, you know, I guess a guest could stay in here. But I really wanted this room to kind of reflect the other room, so we have like a similar bed. The wallpaper in here is green as opposed to orange, and then I thought maybe like, since this house to me is kind of given prop house anyway, I was like, maybe this could be like a room for a potential kid, even though this sim doesn't have kids. But maybe if you want to live here or have your sim live here, then you can, you know, have this be like a kid's room or something like that. So I did put a toy box. I also put a rug, a dresser, and then I ended up putting the art easel in this room. I hope that the art easel works in here. I'm gonna have to play test this to make sure, but I did put an art easel right beside the bed. I put up those little signs that I was telling you about earlier. I put those in here as well. I feel like he made those to kind of like, you know, draw people in when they get off the boat, like, hey, I'm over here, come line up over here if you're here for the tour guide. But honestly, y'all, that's pretty much everything for the entire house. I had a lot of fun making this one, and I don't think I've ever made a house for a tour guide sim before, like ever. So this is a first for me. And I don't know, I think it's kind of funny to think about the idea of like a sim like signing up for a job and not even fully reading what it was and then got roped into this. Like, to me, like the whole plot is kind of giving like movie or TV show. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you want to download this house, feel free to. I am going to leave it linked down below. Also, stick around for the screenshot so you can kind of see how the house will look, you know, when you download it. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!